So Arch & Hook is a material engineering company. We are essentially focused on a mission to support retail and fashion in using sustainable materials or eliminating virgin plastics. So we're on the other side, kind of on the other side of my co-panelists. But actually, for me, it's the fundamental nature of the question that is perhaps the reason why we exist, and that is the perspective of seeing plastic as a small problem. 128 billion plastic hangers a year would disagree with calling this a marginal problem. That's 5,000 tons of waste just from hangers alone. So that is actually an incremental amount of plastic, virgin plastic, which is used one time, and it's discarded, for example, for the transportation of garments, so the Garment on Hanger program. That is fossil fuel. So we all know virgin plastics are made entirely from fossil fuel. So where in the accountability and the measurement of our Scope 3 carbon footprint are we taking into account there is basically the dependence on fossil fuels when it comes to our plastic use? And how easy is it actually to change the mindset and understand and have a deeper understanding of the infrastructure that supports your Scope 3, which includes the dependence on materials like plastics and virgin plastics, because then you really have a holistic and real understanding of your impact on decarbonization or what you need to do to decarbonize. And in that regard, really be able to essentially change the system and lead to a mindset where you're fully understanding the depth of the problem and entirely, where the scope of this of the carbon emissions within this very large segment within retail lies. So for us, it's really about, we're really worried, and it is quite concerning to hear that this is still something that's not resonating, that the plastic problem within the industry is not clicking in people's mind, that it is part of the decarbonization efforts, and it has to be part of the decarbonization efforts, and that mind shift has to happen. Otherwise, we're never going to get where we need to do, because plastics are fossil fuel, and they have to be circular, they have to be recycled. So we're going to need to get there mm-hmm. essentially.
And is that partly, do you think, because there's a perception on the part of customers that plastic hangers basically just hang on rails in the store, and you either take them home when you buy something, or they go into a sort of bin behind the till area and they get recycled there? Actually, hangers are used in all the way back in the supply chain, right?
Yeah, the goods not for resale category it's the category in which we are trying to make change. It's the area which is behind the curtain. It's the least sexy part of retail. It's the part that consumers don't really care. When have you thought about hangers? When do you think about the hangers when you go buy the clothes? You don't. But you don't understand how much negative impact that has. That one small thing, as you said in your question. I think it's actually an exciting opportunity to drive consumer engagement, to be part of your brand experience, if you actually integrate that into a store or integrate that into sort of a circular retail design or retail environment. So it's actually, I think it's an exciting opportunity to engage the consumer. And we've seen that with some of our partners. When you start telling the story, even of the hanger, even of the table or the display case on which you have your clothes, they're like, oh, that's actually really cool. That's made from marine plastics. That's amazing. So everything that you do, not just the garment you sell me, but everything else has contributed to the positive efforts.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that the hanger is a thing that the customer sees, how important is that in terms of messaging, of sort of nudging consumers and saying, this stuff is important, these targets do matter?
I mean, I think it's an exciting. I think it's a very important opportunity. I mean, of course, I understand it's a part of a very big, very complex system, but it could be a very exciting method or platform to engage the consumer and be part of your overall sustainable brand message. And it's the hanger, it's the packaging, it's the retail design, but Our path to decarbonization has to include everything. It cannot be just different aspects of Scope 3. The traditional business models will probably have to change. We're going to need to see companies introducing higher levels of agility and entrepreneurship within the companies to be able to keep up and work multilaterally internally across different sustainability objectives. So I definitely think the global economy and global business transforming into a circular one is really going to take not just a kind of a change of mind shift, but also a change of way that's translated into an internal organizational structure, into an internal organizational process of how you approach these targets and these sustainability objectives. We can't just keep doing things the way we're doing, because we're seeing that that's just not good enough, it's not fast enough, and it's not effective enough.